Hey y'all, this is Driver. So we're back on Car Mechanic Simulator 21. Actually, we never left. We just started a new video. So this is going to be story order number 4. So we had a story order pop up. So we shut the video down to start a new one so y'all can just specifically see this without having to go through all the other ones. So I have not accepted it yet. English is still not a first language for me. Just kidding. Anyhow, so this is our story order. I'm not going to read this obviously again. You're more than welcome to pause and take a gander real quick if you'd like, but for the most part, we're just going to get into it. We definitely know we do need to do an oil change. So let's take the order, see how long it takes to pop in here. Okay, that took a minute to load over, so we just went ahead and started here. So anyhow, so here's our little beautiful car. I guess we could look at it for a minute. And let's see what all it needs. See what kind of order they got for us here. Ooh, they got a list, 3-pager. Okay, so well, we know it needs an oil change, but I mean, look at this stuff. We got to get a cam gears. We got crankshaft bearing caps. So that's going to be down in the pan. So we're going to have to dig a little deeper into this one. So let's see what else we got going on. We got some rod caps that are bad. Some piston with Conrod. Okay, so more or less what we're basically going to be doing is an end frame. And if you've never heard of an end frame, it's basically where the motor stays in the frame, bolted down, and you just rebuild it from there. It's more common on a semi-truck. So anyways, let's throw this up on the lift. And I do apologize if I must seem a little scatterbrained today. It's gonna be day 1 without nicotine, so I'm trying to quit. So wish me luck on that. No promises, but we're gonna do what we can. So let's go ahead and get the oil out of this thing. Come on. Okay, so we already know what we got to do with this. Get this filter out of here. Actually, I don't think it said anything about the actual filter, did it? Change oil, drain and refill. No, it didn't say the oil filter. Put that back on. You can keep that. But we do know that we got some nasty parts in here. So while we're already under here, let's go ahead and just get apart what we need to get apart. I think the crank was fine. So the reason I say that, so as I'm hovered over it, you'll see at the very left corner, bottom, it'll show that it's kind of grayed out with a question mark. You know, it shows the part there. If you go to this, it shows it's 10%. So we definitely know this is a part that needs to be replaced. The crankshaft has been not discovered to have what the percentage of it is. So typically on an order like this, especially in easy mode, you'll know that that's pretty much not a part you need to fool with today. In regular mode and hard mode, it's a gamble at that point. Okay, so what I want to look at here, I think that's the piston. So we got a couple pistons in here. So it's these two right here. We can't do anything from under here. Cannot pull the starter, but we can go ahead and we'll pull a starter from up the top. Okay, so it's gonna be a mixed bag of things we gotta do this thing. Come on, there we go. Mouse didn't want to move for a second. What the deal was. Okay, so we'll start up here at the top of this motor. So what else did they need to do? So we need to get the cam gear and the cam shaft. So cam's gonna be on this. And it's pretty obvious what we're pulling out of here. Well, actually, let's grab this cover off while we're back here. Okay, so that was a different cam gear than I was anticipating. That one's bad. Pretty rusty too. Okay, let's get back to getting this cam ready to be removed. And I know that we had to replace a couple of spark plugs. I can't remember how many, but we'll just look for the percentages there. Looks like just those two inner ones. Maybe 2 and 3. And of course, to get down here, go on. There we go, it's a little better. Alright, yep. Gotta remove, not all of this, but a majority of it. Ah, I clicked around, sorry folks. I'll get that. Don't need to pull the water pump out of this, so let's take a look at our list here. So we had the cam gear A, the cam. We haven't got to the clutch yet because we need to pull the transmission for that. Same thing with the flywheel. There's also front drive shaft in the mix, front sway bar. There's 2 coils. We'll get to them as we get to them. Oh, we need to pull the pistons. So that means we need to pull. I completely forgot about that. So that's why you go back and look at that again. Because if I'd assumed that this was it, and I would have, you know, put it all back together with all new parts and have realized later that, oh, I need to do that. And if you ever do that, don't worry, it happens to all of us. I'll run this side of the engine. Let's go and just get the starter out because we're going to have to anyways. And hold on, we need to get these injectors out. I was thinking they were on the other side. And we got to take that one pulley out. That's the other one. Yep. There was no bolts holding the head on? Okay, we'll go with it, I suppose. So let's see here. I guess what we'll go ahead and do is we'll go ahead and get our parts, and we're gonna go ahead and get this thing put back together. So. I was trying to scroll up to the list more. Okay, so let's get some parts. Everybody likes going shopping, right? We gotta go to the electronics store to get the rest of these parts. Alright, now it's just a matter of reassembly. So, this is where the highlighting parts will come in handy, and I'll demonstrate that here in a minute. Because sometimes when you're disassembling, reassembling, you might kind of forget where you put parts at. So we're going to use a quick example here, and we're going to go and look at our spark plugs. So it's just two. Now, I already remembered from earlier that I knew that these two were the ones that need to be replaced, and they're obviously highlighted. But if you ever forget, you know, because I don't know, you didn't take a note, or, you know, you tore the motor apart and then you decided to go to bed, and then you get up tomorrow and then you're like, oh man, where did that go? So that's the reason I'm being able to do the little blue highlights, is to be able to see that kind of thing. Make it a little easier to see if anything else. So, and then to make sure you've got it right, all you got to do is go back and there it is. It's grayed out with got a couple check marks there, shows that it's done. So you can do that with every part on the vehicle, the whole motor, whatever you want to do. So it's just one way of doing things. Just getting this all bolted together, I guess. Let's go ahead and get this end of this put together. Well, I was actually able to hover over the chain this time, the timing chain there. Let me put the fuel injectors in before you ask for the intake. I mean, I get why they do it, because you don't have to have the intake out to do these injectors. Oh, I gotta make it easier to see. If you've already got the intake out, at least. That's just my personal opinion, guys. Just, you know, gripe because I can, right? Not putting the starter back in for obvious reasons. Gotta have it out to get the transmission out. Alright, this is going to be another one of those spots where it's going to make sense to use this feature. No, not the sway bar. There we go, coils. Because we got to put two new coils in here, and, well, it's obvious that it would go where the new spark plugs went, but that's not always the case in this game. So yeah, it just helps out. If you're scrolling your mouse up through this like this, because I'm just moving my mouse, and you're clicking this stuff, if you're too fast, it'll unclick and click things, so you gotta watch how quick you do that sometimes. I catch myself doing a lot of things in this game a little too fast. Okay, so that's pretty much most of the top of the motor. Come on, let's look around here. I always try to use either the engine head cylinder, the engine head on an inline motor, or the engine block on a V8 for hovering around, where you can basically just spin around and just kind of look for stuff like this that's missing, but I know I'm not putting that in yet. So I just kind of do that kind of thing. So just with all that, let's grab under here. And I do apologize if I'm moving around too fast for you guys today. I'm just in it today, in the zone. We had to replace crankshaft bearings, but there's only 3, so all 3 are being replaced. Then we'll come back to the rod caps in a minute. I think it's just 3 of those as well. So let's just check that real quick. We only got 3 to put up. Yeah. Okay, so that's the bottom end of the motor, button back up. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to go back to unmount, and then what I want to do is I want to look at our inventory. I want to clean this up a little bit. We got a lot of junk in here that we'll never use, especially on this build. And there's all stuff that's already done, so that leaves just a starter. And it can be kind of a help when you do that kind of stuff, especially if you're sorting by arrival like I am right now. You can remember that that starter is, you know, it's going to be the last part you're going to put back on, more than likely. So, all right, so we need to pop a couple of tires off. And you'll see one here in a minute, because we got to pull the actual drive axles. And I think one of the axles is actually bad. Maybe even 2 of them at this point, I don't remember. That axle's got to come out. Ooh, we need to do a sway bar. Might as well grab it while we're here, right? I'm gonna slide on over here. Okay, maybe it wasn't an axle, maybe it was the sway bar that I rode. I don't know. Bar while we're here. I'm more after this transmission stuff right now. But we'll grab the parts we need to grab. Oh yeah, look at that flywheel. Doesn't that look nasty? Oh, yeah. Clutch release bearing. It has to go first, people. Yeah, maybe I should follow my own advice, right? That clutch. Okay, so from here we'll go ahead and get our parts. So that stuff's still good. We don't anything in the electronics parts. Okay, got our parts. Let's get this all bolted back together. Before I put the front tires back on this thing, we're going to see what else this thing needs up in the front end. The starter's obviously going to be last because we've got to do it front of the hood anyhow. At least I think so. Let's check. Yep, got to do it from the engine bay. And we're not going to stick the axles in either. Let's go ahead and put the sway bar in place, but we're not going to put those ends on either. Come on, let me zoom out somewhere. Okay, so let's take a look here real quick. So we got a rear sway bar and we got a bunch of bushings here. I'm gonna get these bushings all highlighted up. Oh boy, look at all them blue dots everywhere. Okay, so let's start over here. This is a pretty easy one. Just a hub bearing. Now we do need 2 of these, so we're gonna go ahead and grab 2 while we're at it. Oh, we needed to sell this stuff. See, I try to keep these stuff sold out so that way you're not confusing yourself later. Okay. Hold on. Now let's put the hub bearing in there and then get the axle back on. Okay, I didn't put that on because I don't know if I got to do that up there. Let's go to the other axle real quick and get that all done. Or actually more of the outer hub. So now we know that we got those done. Let's work on bushings. Looks like, at least in the front, looks like it's going to be pretty simple. It's going to be these 4 up here in the front. All 4 of these. Curious, because I'm pretty sure we're going to need more than just 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're going to need 10 rubber bushings. So when we go to buy this, that loads in. Thank you. So we'll just go ahead and get the 10 that we need, and that way we ain't got to keep coming back for it. Okay, so from what I can tell, it looks like all the rest of the work is in the back. So what I want to go ahead and do then is go ahead and get this finished up. Go ahead and put the rest of the stuff back together up here. I think we're done up here. Something I can move over to at least. Oh, there's a part. That's the one. So about the only way you can skip around on these is to click on items and almost teleport you to a different part. If you want to call it a teleport. So pushing there. So yeah, we got to pull tires again. Just do that rear sway link. Let's see, he's going to unbolt that real fast. Yeah, looks like. Oh, come on. I don't know why it thinks we have to be zoomed in that way. Okay, so got a couple here. Come on, parts. No. Sorry for the weird camera angles, folks. It ain't cooperating today, is it? Okay, so we definitely know what we need. More or less, we just need that one part. So let's do this. Part mount. Then go to tablet. I think all we need to buy is this. I think the rest of them were good, other than all the bushings that I just pulled. Okay, so looks like we've completed all the story objects here, so let's go and uncheck all this. Don't really have to, just cleans up the screen a little bit, especially when we're looking at the vehicle. So the only thing left to do is we just need to put oil in this thing from the looks of it. And we got to put the starter back on, that's right. Can't forget the starter. Okay, so let's get her back down here. Starter on before we forget about it. And just some engine oil. Somewhere there's a dipstick on this thing. I actually had a motor the other day that I couldn't find the dipstick on. Okay, full of oil. And that's it. That right there, boys and girls, completes our story order, which is order number 4. So anyhow, let's first let's go ahead and clean our inventory up. And I am aware that I can sell these parts multiples at a time, but I've actually had to sell crap I didn't want it to sell, so that's the way I do it. Alright, let's open up our case. Which, I miss the old cases, guys. I do. So that's another story for another day. Let's pick these 2 cards. Alright. And we'll go ahead and add our barn map. And that's what's still part of our leftover parts list here. So guys, well, that's going to do it for story order number 4. I know it's going to be a little longer than normal, so it's looking like it's already going to be about a 30-minute video and all that fun stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this was helpful to you. If you needed the help or if you're just hanging out, I appreciate you hanging out. So with that entailed, I'm going to let you guys go, and I will catch you guys next time. See ya.